Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us again for another Viansa at Home wine tasting.
Welcome back to our home.
Yes, welcome back. My co-host and lovely wife, Robyn. We're going to take you through two wines today. Very exciting again to be able to debut our very first two Altura tier wines. Last week we got together and we tasted some of our Terra whites. We had a 4-pack that was available online. This is going to be the next iteration. It's also the next level up in our wine. We're calling this collection Altura, which means summit or height in Italian. And that's kind of the next level up from our Terra, which is the earth, which is kind of the foundation or base of our wine portfolio. So,
tell us about the artwork. I love the artwork. If you didn't see our previous video with the gorgeous artwork on the spring wine, this is very special.
It is very special. We spoke last week about having a partnership with Maria Giannini, 6th-generation marble paper artist. When we're talking about our Altura wines, each one has a unique piece of artwork that's designed based off of the terroir and the flavor profile of the wine that we're making for it. So, two unique pieces of art. Yeah, let's double down on this one. Two unique pieces of artwork here. We have the Russian River Altura or Viansa blend in the Altura tier. It's got some of these darker red bricky tones. We feel like that is color representation of some of the flavors that are being pulled out of this wine. We have the Estate Pinot Noir. Very excited to introduce this one. You can see a little bit more purple tones in here, some more kind of watery movement to it. This vineyard is actually on our estate next to one of our main ponds, and so we chose kind of this water flow pattern and a little bit more blue in the label to represent the pond that's right by it and kind of the terroir influence of having that body of water there. So, very excited to taste these wines. They're going to be amazing.
The details are absolutely stunning. A friend of mine said that she couldn't wait to drink the bottle of rosé and put some flowers in it, which is such a compliment. So
true, so true. These are pieces of art, and that's the whole idea behind this. Wine is art, and we want the labels to be art too. And each one is unique. Each one is different. The process of selecting not only the colors and the patterns, but also the cropping of the label itself is very intensive for us. And we go through dozens and dozens of different pieces of art, different colors, and different cropping selections to make sure that we've picked the best one to represent the wines and to represent our level of passion for winemaking and art. Mm-hmm. So, very excited to try these.
So hopefully you got enough detail that when you bring this home that you can tell all your friends that come over. Each of these could easily be your coming out of shelter-in-place wine. I don't know. I was thinking about that. Everyone needs their wine bottle that they are going to open up when maybe they can have friends over legally. So food for thought.
Great wine for that. We are going to have this 2-pack of these Altura, these first Altura wines online, available for purchase, of course. So follow along with the tasting. Thanks for joining us. So we are going to taste the first red wine. This is the Viansa Red Blend in our Altura Collection. This is a very interesting, very robust blend of Grenache, Alicante Bouschet, and Carignan. It's an interesting red wine for us because it's coming out of the Russian River Valley, so some varietals that aren't typical for that region, but still very different, still very engaging. A wine that we're happy to say is very pairable, it's very approachable, yet it stands up and it's got some good body to it. The majority of this wine is coming from the Bisorti Ranch in Russian River Valley.
I went right in, I already tasted it.
You went right in? Good. It shows commitment. This wine's interesting. When it came into the winery, it was cold soaked for 48 hours, and a process like that helps calm the wine down. It gets aggravated and kind of beat up when it gets picked and harvested, thrown in bins, and then tractored to the winery. So cold soaking like that will kind of mellow out some of the flavor characteristics in the wine, and then they start fermentation. So what that does is give you a nice calm wine that's going to bring out the terroir more so than kind of being jostled and fumbled with.
It is definitely smooth.
These wines, being part of our Altura collection, are aged in a mosaic of beautiful different kinds of barrels. bunch of different kinds of flavor profiles come out of each one of those. So the amounts that we age in each one kind of determine almost like a spice rack of different flavor profiles that
I get that.
build into the wine.
I think of it in my own non-expert head as like Italian Chianti, but like up a level where there's so much more body because the winemaker really gets to show off when they blend all of the wines. And I can taste it. It's so interesting to taste different red blends from different wineries to see what that winemaker's doing.
Absolutely. And this is a great way for us to showcase not only the winemaking, but also the grapes in the region. So Russian River being in Sonoma County, we like to champion our Sonoma wines. Very happy to bring this one to you today. So this one opens a lot with black currant. You get a little cranberry. And I get some dried cherry off this too. It's quite lovely.
It tastes great with like a blue cheese and candied walnut salad. I would love that for dinner if we had those items in the house right now. Rosemary chicken, anything like that. Anything less than like a big steak. So leading up to it.
This wine has great acidity. The tannins aren't too high. They're not overpowering. They're nice and mellow on this wine. It's really a wine that you can enjoy glass after glass of and not have a problem with it. All right, so we're on to the next red wine. We had our wonderful Altura Viansa Red Blend. The next Altura that we're going to taste is our Estate Pinot.
We've been waiting for this.
This one has been a long time coming. Very excited to welcome this wine. Fun story about this, it's the first vintage of Pinot that we've gotten off of our Estate Pinot vineyard. So we're in Carneros. The climate there is perfect for growing Pinot and Chard. We're welcoming an Estate Chardonnay here in the next few months, so look forward to that. But where this is planted is down at the bottom of the hill below the Viansa winery that's up on the top of the mountain, of course. And the soil there is clay, which Pinot loves to grow in. It's actually an old bay plain where the San Francisco Bay would ebb and recede over this clay, and it laid down this very nice soil layer there. So some lovely wines coming out of this. Couldn't be more happy to introduce our very first 2018 Pinot. This vineyard was planted in 2015. There were 5 miles of drainage pipe put underneath this vineyard because of where we are. We get so much rain runoff because we're down kind of in the lowlands area. All of this drainage pipe network underneath the vineyard helps drain all the water off the vines, because the vines like to get watered, but they don't like to sit in water. They don't like wet feet. So we're very proud of how we designed this vineyard. It's producing some delicious wines, and this is the first one off of it. So couldn't be happier to taste this with you. Lovely one. When this wine comes into the winery, it's actually hand sorted before it goes to tank so that the very best berries make it to tank. You're getting rid of the MOG, which stands for material other than grapes. You're getting all that stuff out of there, the things that you don't necessarily want in wine. So we get the best product of that vineyard's grapes.
The structure is good. It dances in your mouth a little bit. It's fun to drink. Like you get a lot of flavor in your mouth up front, that's for sure.
Yeah. It opens beautifully. This is a very bright, acidic wine, so this is going to stand up very well to creamy sauces. It's going to have enough power to cut through other bold flavors and then marry with them nicely.
Yeah, matched up with like a fatty fish like salmon or anything like that, and it'll just go wonderfully.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, this one is 40% new French oak. We've got another mosaic of beautiful oak barrels in here. Quintesse, some Boswell, some Francois Ferrer barrels. Absolutely lovely.
Now, if you can call in and tell me what that is, because I need to phone a friend. So don't feel like that you have to know what those are in order to drink and enjoy the wine. You can use your own words as well.
Absolutely. That's the most important thing here, is that we enjoy the wine. You know, at the end of the day, it's great to know the barrels. It's great to know how it's made. But I think the most important thing is, does it make you happy? Mm-hmm. Do you enjoy drinking it? And do you enjoy drinking it with friends, family, and with a lovely meal? And that's what we're all about here. So.
Absolutely.
One more story about this vineyard. One of the reasons that it's special to me and to John and I and to our family, we used to farm this vineyard a number of different ways. First, there was an herb farm there where we grew rosemary for local restaurants out there. We didn't realize at the time how good the soil was right there for growing these kinds of wines. And over time we did. And so we eventually planted it. But in between the herb garden and the vineyards, there was a pumpkin patch there. And so we had a Halloween pumpkin patch where we grew a corn maze and then had acres of pumpkins that we then packed up and sold to families during Halloween. And it used to be the most magical experience for me as a kid to have a pumpkin patch in your own backyard.
It's true.
We would go down there and just have so much fun. So very special place to me, very special place to the family. And I'm so happy that we get to produce wine off that land, because now we get to share some part of that story and part of the land with everybody in their homes. So thank you very much for joining us for another tasting. We wish everybody the absolute best right now. Our hearts go out to anybody that's being affected by the COVID-19 situation. We hope this wine can bring you some joy in your homes, and that our stories can help lift your spirits.
And cheers to all the mothers out there. Happy Mother's Day. May your day be relaxing and pampering.
Absolutely. Cheers. Cheers.